Hey guys, Carl Cooper here with OnTheBlack.com. So, as a Mets fan, in my opinion, our biggest nightmare has come true. Forget about all the injuries that we've had this year. Forget about things like the Tony Bernazard situation and Mania and Ruben in the press conference. Our medical staff making terrible decisions. The team finishing in fourth place. Forget about all that. Our worst nightmare has come true, and that is a Yankees-Phillies World Series. With that said, though, I think all of us Mets fans have discussed, who will we be cheering for in the World Series? And in my opinion, as much as it pains me to say this, I'm going to be cheering for the Phillies in the World Series. And here's why. I really just have one reason why, and that's what I'm calling the annoyance factor. If you think about it for a second, if the Yankees are to win the World Series, for those of us Mets fans that live in the tri-state area, if the Yankees win the World Series, we're going to have to hear about it every single day in the local media coverage. Most of us have friends that are Yankee fans. We're going to have to hear it from them all the time. And then we're also going to have to deal with a parade in our backyard in New York City. So the annoyance factor there is going to be extremely high. Not to mention that the Yankees are in a new building this year. We're going to have to hear about the 27 championships, first year in a new building, same old results, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to hear about all of that. The flip side of that, if the Phillies win the World Series, now again, for those of us that live in the tri-state area, the Phillies are down the turnpike. They're in Philadelphia. We won't have to hear about it in the local media coverage as much. The only place we'll have to hear it is in national news, and we can either not choose not to read the newspapers, or we can turn the channel. And for most of us who live in the tri-state area, I'm going to bet that we as Mets fans have more friends that are probably Yankees fans than we do Phillies fans. So we're not going to have to hear about it from our friends every single day, and we're not going to have to see a parade in our backyard either. So the annoyance factor will be a little bit lower if the Phillies win the World Series. So, in my opinion, this is almost like voting in an election. You got to pick the lesser of two evils. And so, with that said, I think that the annoyance factor if the Yankees win the World Series is extremely higher than it is if the Phillies win the World Series. So I'm going with the Phillies to hopefully beat the Yankees this year, so I don't have to hear it from friends of mine. I don't have to see a parade. I don't have to see local media cover it. So go Phillies, beat the Yankees in the World Series this year.